Many of you are looking at me going, Wes, why do you look like you work at Topgolf? Or maybe, why do you want to sell me a used car? Today happens to be my 9th wedding anniversary, and I had to spiffy myself up and make myself presentable for my wife and for pictures and all that kind of stuff. And today, not like specifically when you're watching, it's not my anniversary anymore. My anniversary was on Wednesday, but that's why I look a little bit different. I decided to just leave the shirt on and be presentable for once. And we have a big topic. People have been talking about the rumors regarding Hal Jordan, Green Lantern in the DCU under James Gunn, and just how strange they are. And I ended up going down the rabbit hole. I was like, you know what? I haven't really talked about the DCU as of late, and it kind of makes sense because James Gunn was filming his Superman movie. He wasn't really out there talking a whole lot. Started talking a little bit more, and I looked at all the weird rumors out there. Some of them that I can outright dispel for you, and I will do that. But some of them are so strange, stuff we never even heard of, that I can't believe they would actually do, but they might be doing it because James Gunn is just kind of weird. He's eccentric, you know what I'm saying? So we've got this big rumor regarding Hal Jordan. Where did it come from? What is it? A new report claims Josh Brolin has been offered one of the main roles in the new DC Universe's Lantern series. After not featuring a Green Lantern in the DCEU, James Gunn's DCU will give the members of the Green Lantern Corps a much more prominent role. There are already 3 confirmed human Green Lanterns for the DCU, with Nathan Fillion playing Guy Gardner in Superman, while Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart lead the DCU's Lantern series, based on HBO's description of the Green Lantern series, which calls Hal Jordan a Lantern legend. The character should serve as a mentor to the younger Jon Stewart in Lanterns. Wow. Isn't that weird? Not like that Josh Brolin is a bad actor. Josh Brolin's awesome. Josh Brolin is badass. Josh Brolin was badass in Goonies back when I saw that back in the day. One of my favorite movies of all time. You know, I love Josh Brolin in True Grit. He certainly has done some superhero movies. He was awesome as Thanos. I think a lot of people liked him as Cable. I didn't really like Deadpool 2, and I don't even know if I made it to the part where Cable showed up before I stopped watching it because I didn't like it that much. And a lot of people didn't really love him as Jonah Hex, but I think he was cast perfectly as Jonah Hex, to be completely honest. I think they just forgot to make a good Jonah Hex movie. Now, he certainly has been like a mentor-type role in the Dune movies, which the sequel was absolutely very, very successful for Warner Brothers. So it makes sense they have a successful relationship with Josh Brolin. Maybe they'd like to bring him in one more time. Although there are the rumors out there that he's going to return as like King Thanos or something like that in the MCU for Secret Wars. But I don't know that this will end up doing anything about that. But bringing Josh Brolin into the DCU is no bad thing because he's a great actor. He's got gravitas to him. He's pretty damn cool. But as Hal Jordan, it's really, really strange because he's so old. He's older than me, and I'm too old to play Hal Jordan. Hal Jordan, at the beginning stages of the DCU, especially with the young Superman, should be in his early to mid-20s, late 20s at the oldest, and now they're going to make him in like his 50s. What a strange choice. We've never really even seen, you know, in the comic books, we've never really even seen like old man Hal Jordan. The times that we have seen him kind of older and more distinguished, you know, with some gray and stuff, he's been like the Spectre, or he's been Parallax and stuff like that. He's never really been an old character or an older gentleman within the DCU. Not that Josh Brolin's old, you know, I understand you're in your 50s, but you're wearing it well, sir. But he is way too goddamn old for this role. What are you thinking, James Gunn? And apparently this isn't like Josh Brolin was just so badass we couldn't ignore him. This apparently was all by design. According to Nexus Point News, Josh Brolin has been offered the role of Green Lantern Hal Jordan in Lanterns. It's claimed that following actors in their 40s and 50s being looked at, Brolin, 56 years old, became the top choice, has been offered the role. Brolin being offered the role is in line with the DCU's only Green Lantern casting so far, as Nathan Fillion plays Guy Gardner in James Gunn's Superman movie. Fillion is 53, and since Guy is younger than Hal Jordan in the comics, it makes sense for Brolin at 56 to be offered the role. Obviously, I didn't say that. I'm just reading it from the sources out there, and I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner is a goof. It's a fucking cameo. He's just going to be in there for a couple of jokes like he is in all the other James Gunn movies out there. Like, why are we basing the age of fucking Hal Jordan on a goof of a character that's going to be thrown into the Superman movie? Like, it's so weird. But they're going apparently on purpose by design for a older, more distinguished looking Hal Jordan, because we're going to skip his entire fucking origin, which is completely compelling and maybe one of the best parts about the entire character. We're going to skip the part where, you know, he's a test pilot and he loses his father, and the amount of courage that he displays there, and his initial romance with Carol Ferris and all that kind of stuff, which they certainly tried to do very unsuccessfully in that Green Lantern movie with Ryan Reynolds, who I thought was probably good casting at the time, but instead of playing Hal Jordan, he just kind of played Ryan Reynolds, which didn't really work out in the end. But we've never really gotten an awesome Hal Jordan origin story. And if you're going to have a prominent Green Lantern character within DC Comics, you should at least have some, I don't know, moments of that showing it, you know, starting out. But apparently he's going to come in and he's already going to be the world's greatest Lantern. What fucking story is there to tell with Hal Jordan if he's already perfectly formed and he's the mentor to everybody at that point? He's the most compelling character. Are you out of your minds? I just, you know what I'm saying? Am I crazy here? I mean, I love Josh Brolin, but did they take crazy pills is my entire point. It was like, you're missing so much awesome story, so much meat on the bone for the character of Hal Jordan. By the time he finally shows up, maybe we get a good version of the character. We missed all his fucking stories. I don't get it. I don't think that makes any sense. But there's some weirder rumors out there. Shit that I didn't even know was being talked about. Apparently might be in production. This one seemed to have a bit more credence to it, but is very, very strange. Over the past few months, Luca Guadagnino is rumored to have been in talks to direct a movie with Peter Safran and James Gunn's DCU. The latest rumor is that Guadagnino might be teaming up with his challengers in queer screenwriter Justin Krzyzewski's for the DCU Sergeant Rock. The film is expected to be a period piece set during World War II. Why the fuck are you making a Sergeant Rock movie? And why is it a period piece in World War II? Are we not fleshing out a DCU? I mean, I like Sergeant Rock. Sergeant Rock's cool. Sergeant Rock's a great character. But should we be jumping into this kind of character at this point when you're trying to establish your DCU? Why would they even be considering Sergeant Rock? Remember, they had 10 projects that they had announced initially, saying I think 5 more were going to come along, and it was like Superman, Batman Brave and the Bold, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Swamp Thing, The Authority, and then I think the other ones were all television. It was Creature Commandos, Lanterns, Paradise Lost, Booster Gold, and there's another one in there that also didn't make sense. Now they just like they're throwing in a Sergeant Rock movie for the dude that worked on Challengers and Queer. Like, what a weird choice. I don't know that you should be making war movies at this point. And certainly DC has a history and a stable of characters to do awesome war movies, because they had a period of time where, you know, where superheroes weren't quite as popular, and they had an entire stable of like war teams and stuff like that, like the Losers and all that. And certainly Sergeant Rock and Rick Flag and all those characters would have been a part of that. But you might be missing the point. You might want to establish some of your other characters who are going to lay foundational pieces. And Sergeant Rock necessarily isn't even really a superhero movie. So I don't know why you would want to prioritize that, but I would certainly watch a really cool, badass Sergeant Rock movie. You know who would be good for Sergeant Rock? Josh Brolin. Because at that point, I don't think it matters what age the character is, and he's supposed to be a highly decorated, war-hardened, like E9 or something like that in the Army. So I think Josh Brolin on Sergeant Rock would be, you know, the tits. But I don't know why they're making the movie, so I thought that one was really strange. This one, at least the tail end of this, I think is even more strange. In the meantime, Gunn, Safran keep piling up the projects and filmmakers over at DCU. There's Gunn's own Superman, Greg Gillespie's Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, James Mangold's Swamp Thing, Andy Muschietti's The Brave and the Bold, Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2, and potentially rumored Darren Aronofsky's Plastic Man. Fucking Plastic Man? Darren Aronofsky? I mean, I guess if you're going to put Darren Aronofsky on a DC character, maybe Plastic Man fits? Why the fuck are we making a Plastic Man movie? I mean, another character I love, and he's hilarious, and he's more of an anti-hero than hero, so I guess it fits the sensibilities of the director. I'm just surprised they're prioritizing it. Maybe Gunn's just like, fuck it. We're just going to make movies about the shit that I thought was cool when I was a kid, and not the characters that actually draw money or would, in theory, be important to the future health and sustainability and viability of the DCU itself. Like, fuck it. We're doing Plastic Man with the guy that did Requiem for a Dream and Noah. Such a, oh man, I have an extreme love-hate relationship with Darren Aronofsky. I hate Requiem for a Dream. I think it's probably the most, it's not the most, because I did see some of a Serbian movie. Besides a Serbian movie, which I didn't finish, I think it's like one of the most repugnant movies I've ever watched in my life. I was fucking disgusted by it. And then I watched Noah, and that is one of the worst adaptations of a monumental story that I've ever seen in my life. Like the story of Noah that has meant so much, not to just, obviously Christians, but Jews, Muslims, all those out there. We all share this like common ancestry. And Noah, the story of the great flood, is one of those things that really unites people. And he fucking like, woo, went right over his head. He's like, fuck this. It's about climate change. And you're like, this guy fucking sucks balls. He cannot direct a movie, and he might be, potentially brain dead, or maybe he's just an imbecile or an idiot, but then he makes The Wrestler, and you're like, okay, well, The Wrestler's pretty damn good. And I think he did The Fountain, which is interesting, not as good as people say it is, but certainly worth a watch. I say avoid Pie Like the Plague, but, to each their own, I guess. But Darren Aronofsky's Plastic Man, like, I feel like he's just like screwing with people. These can't be real. A Sergeant Rock movie from the guy that made Queer, and then a Plastic Man movie from the guy that made Requiem for a Dream. It's like, I don't know. I feel like I'm like Alice going through the looking glass, going down in the rabbit hole, and like, what the hell is going on here? There are some other rumors out there that are certainly not substantial at all that I can just put the kibosh on right here, right now. Rumors are swirling that DC's mercenary Deathstroke will receive a solo movie in the Batman universe starring Keanu Reeves and will be released in 2025. A supposed trailer for a Deathstroke movie starring Keanu Reeves as Slade Wilson and Robert Pattinson as Batman have gone viral, sparking speculation with solo outing of the mercenary that would be released in 2025 from DC Studios. Unfortunately, this movie is nothing more than a myth stirred up by a fan-made creation from Darth Trailer. I don't understand how people buy these deep fakes anymore. Like, you gotta look and maybe see a substantiating article, because if you've gotten to the trailer, the movie's been announced. They've done casting. There should be information out there, but apparently some people were falling for this. And if just a few hours ago, if you were to go up to me and be like, hey, Wes, do you think Keanu Reeves would work as Deathstroke? I'd be like, I think Keanu Reeves can do almost anything, but he's probably not big enough to be Deathstroke, and I don't think it's going to work. But after seeing Keanu Reeves as Deathstroke, I got to admit, that shit kind of works. He looks pretty good in the costume and everything, and obviously the orange and black color scheme works with just about anybody. Deathstroke's an awesome character, great look. And I must say, despite it being a deep fake, Keanu Reeves kind of fits the party, looks pretty good. Obviously, we almost got a Deathstroke movie. He was supposed to be like, I think he was supposed to be in the Ben Affleck Batman movie that he was going to make, and then he was going to have a solo movie with Joe Manganiello. I'm messing the names up today because there's so many weird ones out there. Then he looked cool. Like, he looked pretty damn good as Deathstroke. And apparently he is good friends with James Gunn, and James Gunn told him, you need to give it up. That's a pipe dream. You're never going to play Deathstroke again. But hopefully they do bring Deathstroke back. Like, when you think about what are the things that we could do in a Batman movie that haven't been done before, we've seen the Joker enough. I think we've seen the Penguin enough. We've seen the Riddler enough. How about fucking Deathstroke? we've seen the Catwoman enough. Like, Deathstroke is the way to go, and Deathstroke is an absolutely awesome character, unless you plan on making a Teen Titans movie, and then I say hold off on Deathstroke and give that sumbitch to that title, because obviously Deathstroke is like the big villain for the Teen Titans, but he's also a major villain for Batman. So that's bullshit, unfortunately, because Keanu Reeves, apparently, he can do anything. He's just the perfect actor, isn't he? The final rumor out there that we can dispel, the head of DCU, James Gunn, has debunked a rumor that Warner Brothers has plans for a video game in the Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson The Batman universe. The rumor came via Puck News, which is run by Matthew Maloney, the former editor of The Hollywood Reporter and is an entertainment lawyer. A fan questioned James Gunn about the Batman video game on Threads, which James Gunn shot down. Sadly, there is no truth to this whatsoever, replied Gunn to the fan. Gunn also added below his comment, there is also no truth to Tub Thumping by Chumbawamba being played on the set of Superman. This is a real rumor on Reddit someone just sent me. I get knocked down and I can get played. What an addictive song. I remember that was cool. And while I'm glad he wasn't playing it on set while filming Superman, because that wouldn't have made any sense, there's an awesome episode, maybe my favorite episode ever, of Dawson's Creek, Chumbawamba, Tub Thumping, Pacey's trying to nail his teacher. We were a little bit more liberal and relaxed with exploring, 30-year-old women nailing their students, 14-year-old students in high school, and throwing into television shows back in the day. And that is a fantastic episode of Dawson's Creek. One of my real guilty pleasures is Dawson's Creek. Specifically, I really like Joshua Jackson as Pacey, but obviously I like Katie Holmes as well, because she was quite attractive. I was very let down when she was seduced by Tom Cruise. What were you thinking, Katie? Now, as far as the rumor, not about Chumbawamba, but about a video game in the Matt Reeves Batman universe, I don't know why you would make this one. You should probably just keep doing the Arkham series or restart it with a new name or something like that. I don't think you need to do movie tie-in video games anymore, especially with a character like Batman. There are plenty of Batman games out there, and Arkham Asylum or the Arkham series is probably the most acclaimed set of comic book character video games in the history of video games. So you already have that out there. There's no need to do that, but you will not be getting a video game set in the Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, the Batman universe. It's not going to be happening, but you will be getting a TV show called Penguin starring Colin Farrell. So at least you get that. There we go. Lots of rumors surrounding James Gunn and the DCU. Some of them that we can confirm aren't going to happen. You're not going to get Keanu Reeves as Deathstroke, unfortunately. You're not going to get that video game in the Batman universe. You might get Plastic Man from Darren Aronofsky, and you might get Sergeant Rock, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and it does look like we probably will get, or there's a damn good chance of it, Josh Brolin as Hal Jordan. Makes no sense to me whatsoever. If you appreciate what I'm doing here, bringing a little bit of levity, having some fun, but also a heaping dose of honesty to the comic book industry, not just comic books, but the media surrounding it, and you would like to support me in what I do here on Think Critical YouTube, I do invite you to come see me on Think Critical Patreon. There's a link in the video description. Lots of awesome bennies there in the form of podcasts, exclusive videos, stuff like that, extra polls. Hope to see you there soon.